Flip on to page 173. We are combining both sessions here. Initially, we were going to skip session 1, but again, that extra practice is not going to hurt us, especially when we get to new problems like this with decimals. So the librarians at a new city library order 11,328 books. So we're looking at 11,328 books. They estimate that 32 books can fit on each shelf. Based on this estimate, how many shelves does a library need to hold the books? Okay, so when we're looking at this problem, we're trying to see how many shelves we need for all those books. Our dividend is 11,328. Our divisor is 32. So I'm going to move this up so I have more room. But again, you have it in front of you in your book on page 173. So we're going to start with our dividend, which is 11,328. We're trying to figure out how many groups of 32 fit into that. A little trickier in regards to the fact that our first initial problem that we have to solve, our first initial division problem, is a little bit longer. 32, we have a 2-digit number here, does not go into 1. 32 does not go into 11. We know 32 goes into 113, but we have to get close to it without going over. So I'm going to try 32 times 3 on the side. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. I know that that's about as close as I can get here. So the 3 is going to go up here. 3 times 32 is going to give me an answer of 96. If I subtract that, 13 minus 6 is 7. 10 minus 9 is 1. Bringing down my 2, so now I got to get close to 172 without going over. So how many groups of 32 are in 172? Well, I know it's going to be more than 3. I'm going to try 5 groups. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 gets me 160. Pretty good guess the first time. I know it can't be 6, because if I add another 32 to this, it's going to be 192. So this has to be 5. So 5 times 32 is 160. I'm going to subtract and bring down my 8. Well, once again, I'm in the same position here where I have to figure out how many 32s are in 128. So when I look at this, I know that 5 was 160, so it can't be 5. So I'm going to try 4 and see how close that gets me. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. Well, look at that. Gave me the same answer. So 4 would go here. 4 times 32 is 128. If I subtract, I get 0. My answer is 354 shelves are needed to hold my dividend, which is 11,328 books. So 32 books on a shelf. You need 354 shelves to be able to fit all of those books. Okay. We're going to skip the 2 middle pages here. Page 174 just talks about what we just did. If you want to see a clear representation of what I did without the sloppy writing that I'm known for, you can look at that. Page 175 are the questions that we answered already kind of together, going through the problem. So we're going to start with page 176. So go ahead and flip over to 176. Okay, we are on page 176, number 7. Members of a school band sell 1,680 bags of popcorn to raise money. There are 112 band members. Each band member sells the same number of bags. How many bags of popcorn does each band member sell? Show your work. The key words there. We always have to show our work with division. These kind of problems, I'm going to be honest with you, are nearly impossible to do in your head. So we need to make sure we're writing everything down. Okay. So our dividend, what we're starting with here, again, is 1,680. We're dividing it. Our divisor is 112. We're trying to find our answer, which is our quotient, which is how many bags of popcorn does each band member sell. So we have 112. 112 does not go into 1 without a fraction, a decimal answer. Does not go into 16. We're going to start with 168. We know it has to only be one group because 2 groups push us over 200. So 1/12, we're going to subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. 5, that's going to give us 0. Bring this down. Okay, here's a situation where there might be some guess and check going on. So we got to get close to 560. I'm going to start with 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. See if we can get a little closer with 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. Gets me 560. Oh, same one. So 5 times 112 is 560. If I subtract, I get 0, which means there's nothing left over. So my answer to this problem then is going to be they each sell 15 bags of popcorn. And I wrote on my line, so I'm going to write it to the side. Okay, but when we're looking here, the answer is going to be 15 bags of popcorn. Okay, number 8, Nathan incorrectly divides 33,947 by 83. Describe his mistake. All right, so we're going to look at this problem over on the side here. He set it up correctly. His dividend is 33,947. His divisor is 83, but he says his quotient is 49, which we know cannot be correct. Well, we're told it's not correct. So first step, does 83 go into 3? No. 33? No. 339. He says 4 times. 83 times 4 is 332. That's correct. Subtract 7. Should have just brought down the 4. Oh, here's our mistake. Nathan decided to bring down both at the same time instead of just one. So you can only bring down one number at a time, not both. If you bring down both, you're not going to get the correct answer. And looking at this problem, 83 times 49, you know that cannot be correct because looking at the digits and the fact that there's nothing over the 7, even if it's a 0. Okay. All right. Last one on this page here is a problem that I would like you, if you're not doing this already, go ahead and pause, try to solve this, try to set it up first, and then solve it and then check. Okay, so we're going to put our dividend in the middle, 208 divided by 36. 36 does not go into 62. Does not go into 6, it goes into 62. Only once. If I double it, I get 72. So I'm going to put this here and subtract. I have to borrow. 12 minus 6 is 6. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bringing down my next digit. Trying to figure out how I can get to 262. So how many groups get me there? I'm going to try 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Carry my 3. 18. 216. I'm going to try 7 to see if that gets me closer. 21 to 52. I think 7 is going to get us a better answer here. 7 times 36 is 252. If I subtract, I get 10. Bring down here. I'm going to put a 2 here because 3 would push me over 100. That's going to be 72. If I subtract, I'm going to have 28. Bring down my last 8. Well, I knew 7 got me here. Let's try 8. 36 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 288. Subtract, I get 0. So my answer, my quotient, is going to be 172. At any point that you need to pause and refresh and go back through this, you can do that. It's a nice thing about the video that you have this at home to help you. Okay, go ahead and look at page 177 and 178. These are the 2 pages that we would like you to try on your own. I do think setup is really crucial to some of these, so I might help you, especially number 1. I think the other ones you'll have no issue setting up, but number 1, 100%. Let's just look at it. So there's an example up here. Study the example showing how to divide whole numbers using the standard algorithm, then solve problems 1 through 4. A restaurant uses 450,000 eggs in a year. 1 week, the cook needs to place an order for 8,640 eggs. The eggs come to the restaurant in boxes of 180 eggs. How many boxes of eggs should the cook order for a week? So we're looking at a whole bunch of numbers here. Okay, they give us 3 numbers. We need to actually look at what we're trying to solve. So if we're looking, they're asking how many boxes of eggs should the cook order for the week? So 1 week, so this is our 1 week amount. The cook needs this much, and it comes in 180. So that's how many we have to figure out. So they take 8,640 eggs and divide it by 180. You can see the standard algorithm that we used as well. They start by saying how many groups of 180 and 864. It's 4, 720. They drop the 0 there. And you have 144. Come over here, when they bring down the 0, they say 8 groups of 180. Give us 1,440 with nothing left over. So the cook needs to order 48 boxes of eggs. Well, on the next example, the cook in the example needs 11,160 eggs during the holiday week. How many boxes should the cook order for the holiday week? So our dividend here is 11,160, and our divisor is still going to be that same 180. And those are the 2 numbers you're dividing. So go ahead and try 1. On the next page, you have 2, 3, and 4. 2 is, they're both division problems you need to set up. 3 is basically set up for you. 4 is an error analysis. You need to figure out the mistake and then describe it. And remember, you can go back and watch any parts of this video again if you need some extra support.